Nobody's in. Oh, we got a couple of people in. Hey, everybody, people who are showing up to the show. Thanks for being here. There's a lot of things going on today. A lot of things going on, but we're excited to be here. We're excited you're here. And oh, look at that. YouTube is coming in. Hi, YouTube. Where you been? We missed you guys, YouTube. We missed you for like 6 episodes. Where you been? Because we've been streaming on our regular show schedule all over the internet, just not on YouTube. Kind of weird how it seems like a lot of you missed the show because it wasn't on YouTube. Okay, enough shame. I'm not here to shame you, YouTubers. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here now. But yes, you've missed 6 episodes of the show. We hope you missed us. And for those of you who did, of course, you knew to go to CanaryCry.Party and find a different stream location when we were mysteriously disappeared we were black-bagged, YouTube black-bagged. But we're here now, but there's no guarantee that will continue to happen. So, a couple of things. First of all, you must go follow us somewhere else, YouTubers. We are not long for this world. Unless you just don't care, then you can just not see the show ever again. But we are one strike away from having yet another, our 3rd YouTube channel, destroyed, cast into the outer darkness. And so, we can only put up with it for so long. The only reason we keep coming back to YouTube is because there's so many of you, and you don't seem to want to watch anywhere else. So just know we are one strike away from getting this channel deleted, out of the false accusation of misinformation, malinformation, whatever they want to call it. It's not true, but they don't like us. So follow us in another location. I suggest Odyssey. Odyssey is my current favorite. Odyssey.com. Just search for Canary Cry News Talk. You can also find the show on DLive. DLive's done a great job. Just watch somewhere else. YouTube is not the place. And for those of you out there who don't get notifications very well, no matter where you're listening to the show or watching the show, if you find that you're not receiving notifications for the live show, we have constructed an alternative option for you. If you go to CanaryCry.Party, you can, at the very top, you'll see that you can sign up for a text alert situation. All you do is you put in your phone number. We don't take your name. We don't take your anything. It's just your phone number. We just send out, we'll be sending out alerts to our text list here for those who want an alert sent directly to their phone for when we go live. Hope we're just trying to solve some problems here, folks. We're doing our best. So if you're interested in that, people are asking if we're on Rumble. Go to CanaryCry.Party. All of them are there. And yes, you'll see Rumble. Okay, that's enough for me. Well, let's get the show started. We got a good show today. If you can, share the show out to your social media and stuff to let people know that we're back. All right, stay hydrated. Let's get going. Oh, and also, buckle your seatbelts for sure, because we have a little shift in how the show is going to be structured today. So I'm giving you some forward warning. We'll see how it works. It'll be fun. Okay, let's go.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is February 16th, 2022, and we are live to tape, baby. This is episode 447, and today, sheep shifting. Razzle dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And we're going to try something a little different today for those of you who are regular listeners of the show.
We're adapting
yes.
The format of the show. but we think it'll be for the best. But bear with us as we practice for the first time our adapted format. And part of that includes starting off with one of our lead stories. Let's get right into it, Gonz.
Vaccine, number one way.
So the big thing going viral today is the Christopher Cole footage, the FDA Executive Officer of Countermeasures Initiative. He got Veritased.
Uh-oh.
I feel like that's a term that we can just start using now.
It is now. We may be coining it as we speak, but it's kind of funny because it's like, you got truthed.
Right. You got punked. No, now you got Veritased.
You got Veritased, bro.
Get an annual shot. I mean, it hasn't been formally announced yet, so you don't want to rile everyone up. The drug companies, the food companies, the vaccine companies, they pay us hundreds of millions of dollars a year to hire and keep the reviewers to approve their products. If they can get every person required at an annual vaccine, that is a recurring return of money going into their company.
So how do you know it's already getting approved?
Well, they're not going to, just from everything I've heard, they're not going to not approve it.
Meet Christopher Cole, an executive officer at the FDA with over 20 years' experience who claims to be directly involved in the approval process of the various COVID vaccines.
I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a gradual thing. School's going to mandate it.
Why do they need the third one?
For kids.
The same reason that you or I would need the third one. So the 3 will bolster your system. And then there will be an annual, eventually an annual, just like the flu shot.
For the toddlers?
Well, for everyone.
Okay, so the toddlers too then. We'll have to get it annually. Okay.
I don't completely agree with the process.
What do you mean you don't agree with the process?
Well, I mean, they don't have all the tests aren't there.
No.
So I agree with the thing that it is important to inoculate them.
Toddlers.
But you can't provide the parent as much a surety as you normally want to. It's an EUA for all age groups, all designations, and then you have to get approved by specific age groups based on the study.
Do you think it's really an emergency for the toddlers?
Well, they're all approved under an emergency. The efficacy data doesn't have to be as high.
Aha, there you go, another one.
The standard is on emergency use authorizations is that it does more benefit than harm.
More benefit than harm.
Weren't that high for 6 month to 4-year-olds?
They're not, but because it's related to COVID, it's under that approval process.
There you go.
Wow.
There's a lot.
Straight from the horse's mouth, huh?
A lot there. Yeah.
So who is this guy?
He's Christopher Cole, FDA Executive Officer of Countermeasures Initiative. And he said a lot in there.
He's an executive at the FDA. Isn't that nice that we have executives at the, at a government thing? They're not like elected officials or something. They just work their way up the food chain like any other, corporate entity would. Yeah,
the United Corporate State of America and in all of its branches, the FDA being one of them.
So he's saying, right, I mean, again, this is not misinformation. This is straight from the mouth of an executive at the FDA. He says the tests aren't there but when it comes to immunizing toddlers with the vaccine, but because of the EUA, the emergency use authorization, they're able to, move forward.
Everything is under the umbrella of the EUA, which is based on the premise, which we knew, but, it's nice hearing it from an FDA exec.
From the guy. This is not, of course, this is another example of something that could get us kicked off YouTube. So YouTubers, pay attention here. This literally might be your last chance to, watch the show.
We might have just put ourselves under the guillotine of YouTube when we got back. First thing we got
back. That's what we do, man. That's how we do it. And so unfortunately, there will be a few thousand people who will just never see the show again, unless they go to CanaryCry.Party and follow us in a different location.
Right.
But wow, this is, I mean, again, it's nothing we didn't already know.
Right.
But to just hear it from the guy's face is a very special experience.
He says the drug companies, food companies, vaccine companies, they all give the FDA, did you say money?
Yeah, well, we knew this. The FDA is like officially funded
They're like
by
lobbied.
the pharma companies.
And it's the same model.
Yeah, it's not, they don't even really try to hide it. It's officially a huge portion of their funding. You don't call it, profits or earnings or anything, but a huge portion of their funding doesn't come from the government. It comes from the companies that they're supposed to be regulating.
And then they hire, cool. And then the FDA uses that money to hire and keep, this is part of his quote, hire and keep the reviewers to approve their products. How is that not a conflict of interest? I don't understand how that's. I understand that's public and it's just how it's done. But in terms of wider public knowledge,
open and honest corruption.
Yeah, well,
and again,
at least they're honest about the corruption.
See, and that's the thing. They can kind of say like, "Oh, it's not corruption because it's legal."
Legal, right?
When the just because the government says it's okay for big pharma companies to pay the government to give them special treatment and be involved in forcing people to take vaccines or whatever, or coercing them or encouraging them or whatever language you want to use,
right?
Doesn't mean that it's not wrong. It's crazy.
Yeah. Talking about the plan to make it like the flu vaccine, that was considered. That's the thing. This is to the greater point of the censorship going on and everything else. And I know Joe Rogan mentioned it, but we're experiencing it firsthand here, which is that we would say something like, "Hey, they're going to try to make this like the flu vaccine and make it an annual thing, and then we'll all conspiracy, medical misinformation," and then we have the FDA executive saying the exact same thing. You know?
So, I'm just putting it out there now. If we get a strike for this, I'm finished. No, I'm not. That's what they want me to say.
They don't lay down now.
If you give us a strike for this, YouTube, we will keep coming back, sprouting up with 2 new channels every time you cut us down.
We're like the Medusa of the YouTube. I don't know, whatever.
No. Yeah, exactly. The Hydra.
The Hydra. There you go. Thank you.
The CanaryCry Hydra. Sort of mixing some ideologies and metaphors there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty incredible. And when did this drop?
I think it was last night or this morning.
Last night or this morning. Okay, so it's fresh. We got some freshies.
I'm sure there's more in there. The stuff with the kids is interesting too. And I think perhaps the reason why Pfizer pulled back on the whole 5 and under thing with the FDA, and remember that whole thing came out a week ago.
Oh yeah,
it could be because they got intel that one of your execs got Veritas. You better back off on the kid thing, or it could get really ugly. So
that is interesting.
Yeah, because he talks a lot about kids in this little. It's not the whole thing. This is just clipped. I think it's like the intro or the pitch or whatever for Veritas. But they bring up the kids a lot, and just being able to get a lot of this through because of the emergency use authorization.
Yeah, and we were talking about last week too when they did not receive the emergency use authorization for the youths, for the toddlers and things.
Right.
They actually pulled their request. It wasn't that they didn't get it.
Yeah.
They pulled their request, and we were talking about how it's probably because there's a lot of heat on the fact that the FDA isn't releasing the data from their studies, and that there's all these legal problems surrounding it, and people are calling them out. Just a lot of heat on how exactly the data was collected and presented to get the emergency use authorization.
It's hard to say. It's always I hear people say youth all the time.
Emergency youth operation. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, but you're right. If they had a little heads up that Veritas had out of the mouth of this big baby executive at the FDA.
Can you imagine being at the FDA, getting that email? Because I would imagine, I don't know how Veritas does it, but it would be interesting if they email FDA first, like, hey, we got this. We got one of your guys. Like, it's not public yet. Just prepare whatever you need to do. That would be interesting to hear about all the legal dealings in the back room.
You're right. You mean legally if they're required to let them know?
Yeah, because I know that this is the big reason why Veritas continues to go on is because they're winning court situations.
So far, they've won every court case that they need to defend themselves.
It's interesting to watch their operation in that context of, hey, they're bringing it straight to court, and they're battling it there. I talked about that a few episodes
ago.
Interesting
too, how this is an FDA official. They didn't go after necessarily a Pfizer guy or something like that.
Well, Pfizer especially because they're foreign technically, so maybe harder to get some of the main guys. I don't know.
I believe Pfizer is an American company. It's BioNTech.
BioNTech's German. That's right. Okay.
But I wonder if it was another, what was it? Tinder sting?
I was going to say, who's the lady here? The journalist lady asking questions.
I haven't looked at this, but, Veritas has done that in the past where they'll match with one of these guys on Tinder or like Ashley Madison or something. Send a good looking lady out on a date with one of these executives and, they want to be cool. They want to impress the girl. And so they let it all out. There's it looks like they're at a nice restaurant.
It does look like a nice restaurant.
Stemmed water glasses.
Yeah, whatever the camera is here is there's a wine bottle in front of it, so it looks like a nice little place there. There's a real quickly here. We've been tracking some they're not alt news, but where all the mainstream news people are kind of migrating out of. Into sort of these, the decentralization of the journalists from mainstream media because there's a big reset
the colonization going on.
I found this outlet, and I know this is kind of running an Audible as part of this, but I think it's relevant because it's about the FDA. It's an outlet called Endpoints News, and the About section, it just highlights a guy named John Carroll, who's the editor and founder. He's a biotech analyst and writer for decades. He's been quoted by the New York Times, the New Yorker, Financial Times, all these big-time mainstream guys. And the editorial here, the headline, with Caliph confirmed, FDA needs to return to priorities lost to the pandemic and improve its messaging. And this whole thing is just going after the FDA and how they've handled publicly sort of the PR relations. So I thought it was kind of interesting that you have these mainstream guys starting to talk about, hey, if FDA needs to do a better job communicating with the public. You've been part of the reason why there's so much skepticism and all that kind of thing. And they're still towing the line of it's because we're not. The vaccines are still good, but FDA could do better. But at the same time, we have information like this coming out with Veritas having a straight,
it's unbelievable
FDA exec saying things that have gotten multiple people banned off YouTube.
Oh yeah, including us. Can you imagine being like the I don't know, some sort of legacy mainstream corporate news producer or editor? You're doing a story. All the Veritas guys came out. Okay, we need to spin this. These Veritas guys, this is malinformation. So, under the new DHS bulletin, these guys are technically terrorists. So we need to put together a little a news package, so we can spin it. We got to put a little news package together, put it out on the wire, and then you got the editor and the producer sitting there in the editing room. And they're like, okay, all right, let's do this. It's got to air at 5 tonight. We better just cram through this. And they're sitting there watching the footage of the FDA executive talking about how corrupt it is. And they're just like, they're good liberals. They're good. They're not ruffling any feathers. They are triple vaxxed, and they feel like they're doing the world a service by getting the truth out there, fighting misinformation. And they're sitting there in the editing booth watching this guy, this FDA executive, just totally blow the lid off the whole thing. And they're like, okay.
Which angle are we going? Which angle? No, they have to, with especially with the new DHS
I
thing.
think there's a crisis going on with these, low-level media editors who are having to execute the spin of the lizard people while, just living in a tornado of cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
It's enough to drive somebody crazy.
Oh, I'm sure. There are people freaking out in the edit room. But yeah, we'll see what comes of it. It would be interesting that you're right. The DHS and all of their new things there. We'll talk about it later. But according to their own sort of standards, you can consider Christopher Cole, FDA Executive Officer of Countermeasures Initiative, as a terrorist.
Well,
malinformation terrorist.
No, he's not. That's not terrorist activity.
Oh.
The terrorist activity, and we'll break it down again, is the person who does not present it in the government's context.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that would be Veritas themselves putting themselves at risk.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyways, great find. And yeah, excellent way to start the show there, Gonz.
Yep. Hope people enjoyed the hard hitting stuff at the top of the show.
There you go. So this is part of one of the changes that we're going to be implementing here. We kind of recognize that we've gotten comfortable. We've gotten comfortable with the format, and we start out the show, every show, with sort of a meandering, sort of slosh of nonsense, which is fun for us, and it's fun for the longtime listeners, but it's not the most accessible to new listeners. You know? So we want to make sure that make sure that the new listeners know what we're about by hitting some of the hard stuff at the top. And then, we can meander and slosh around later in the show.
Okay.
And speaking of which, today is Wednesday, Gonz.
And this is going to trigger some people too.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
No!
Well, I had it ready. Don't step on it.
We talked about this. Do you have
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Get used to it, new listeners.
It is Wednesday, my dude.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the CanaryCry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Oh, I see. You had a little surprise for us.
I did. I wanted to extend an olive branch.
Well,
to our
yeah. You know what happens when you try to please everybody, Gonz?
Yeah, we end up pleasing nobody.
Exactly. So that's right. If you're new to the show, don't worry. You'll learn all about it. We have a new Wednesday jingle we're checking out, but don't worry, all you old Wednesday jingle lovers. You'll get yours later on as well.
Yep.
I like it though. It's fun. It's got sort of a folksy hero feel. Of course, laying into some Americana, which we love around here. And, it'll be an ongoing conversation within the community.
Right.
But we take no sides, and we will just see whichever jingle is the victor.
We just lost Learbag, one of our longtime audio producers is jumping ship. He's unsubbed.
Unsubbed. No. Don't freak out, everybody. Don't worry. We have a plan. So there you go. We're going to get back into some more stories here in a second. But we are also experimenting with the idea of thanking the associate and executive
do it the other way. Executive and associate executive producers. Yeah.
Up at the top of the show because they deserve it. And, kind of stretching that out a little bit. We realized that the breaks, we didn't realize anything. We're letting you know that we have completely lost control of the length of the show. We had been trying to do a shorter show out of necessity, not for no reason, out of life necessity for this entire year. Every single show we're taking steps to try to get the length under control, and we cannot do it. So that's part of the reason why we have revamped the format and moved some things around. And we hope you guys like it. We think it's going to be good. Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. Mix it up a little bit, and hopefully gained some control over our lives, Gonz. My goodness.
Yeah, I know. So, do you have any roller skating updates or anything like that for today?
No, not today. Okay. What do you got? You got any
real quick,
personal notes before we get into it?
Yeah, so my little dog, Cody.
Cody?
Yeah.
You mean Coda-geddon the World Eater?
Yes. He, World Eater he is. He got into the Desitin. Do you know what Desitin is?
No, it sounds bad though.
Okay, well, hope maybe people in the chat know what Desitin is, but he got into it, he chewed it up. I don't know how much he ingested, but then we gave him dinner right after, and then just like I don't understand how a dog that small had that much vomit coming out.
Oh no, Cody.
Yeah, he's okay. He's fine this morning.
Cody, you're supposed to eat worlds, not ointments.
The people in the chat know what it is. When you have a baby, you know.
Oh, is it like hemorrhoid cream or something?
No, not quite that much. But it's like the baby. It's a diaper, baby
like a
diaper rash.
Cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was changing the baby. I did notice I was changing the baby's diaper and I noticed it disappear and I was like, what? Where did it go? Whatever.
The tube.
Yeah, the tube of Desitin.
Not the baby. The baby did disappear.
And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh no. No, I found him. He looked like he was under a lot of stress, like a drug addict with white cream all over his face.
Poor Cody. My
anyway, he's fine. He's good. He's all happy this morning, so he's good to go. But there you go. That's a little personal note. Please pray for my dog.
I actually, we will pray for the dog. I actually do have a quick personal thing for the top of the show.
Okay.
This was actually an email sent in by a listener. Let's call them Monument. I'm going to call them Monument. The Monument sent in an email with the subject line, Swole Basil.
Ooh.
So, of course, I had to open this email up, put it right at the top of the priority list. And it goes like this. Hey, guys, this is a question for Basil. After a long time thinking I should get back to the gym, Basil has finally pushed me over the edge.
Ooh.
Like Basil, I have a fair amount of Viking heritage. Brother.
You found your kind.
My brother. It is time.
Yeah.
So I was wondering what tips he had as far as types of workouts, what to eat, etc. for a Norse
Yeah, what's the Norse diet? Is it like fish?
Well, hold on. I'm 6'3" and 200 pounds, so I'm not trying to cut too much weight. Brag. I more just want to look like. I more just want to not look like a torso with noodles, where my limbs should be. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you very much, Monument, for this email. And yeah, we have similar body types. It sounds like. And yes, I'm happy. I'm happy to just toss you some quick advice to get started. And this applies to all my Viking brothers and sisters out there. Yes, I said sisters. Strongest women in the world, baby. Just focus on weights, man. Just don't worry about cardio.
That's how your ancestors did it. They didn't have any computers.
Nothing.
Monitoring the heart.
Get an app. There's all sorts of weightlifting apps. You can get an app that'll just put together, you tell them what kind of equipment you have. And that's the other thing. You got to get some equipment. I mean, for me, going to the gym is not an option. It just is a big obstacle and I can't do it. Get some of your own equipment. Dumbbells are fine. Focus on just lifting heavy and few, lower reps, heavy, lower reps, and just do it 3-4 times a week. That's the way to start out. You'll be very happy with it.
Excellent.
And, of course, take your protein, take your creatine, Basil's Baby Gains, and stuff like that.
You know who doesn't need any kind of weights? The strength is built in.
Who could you possibly be referring to?
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. It's time for the Flippy update, folks. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and just how there's nothing we can do about it. Today, we are taking our Flippy update from a very relevant source, and we're checking back in with Flippy proper at restaurantbusinessonline.com. And the headline is White Castle to put Flippy robots in 100 more restaurants.
They're multiplying.
They're expanding. I know, the army of Flippies. And this is official Flippy. This is actual Miso Robotics Flippy.
Yep.
White Castle is bringing kitchen robots to 100 additional restaurants. The 350-unit burger chain is doubling down on Miso Robotics' Flippy machines after more than a year of tests yielded better operations and staff productivity. It could be the largest adoption of such technology by a U.S. restaurant chain.
Wow.
Boom. Record-breaking moment for Flippy and the robot apocalypse. Quote, our partnership with Miso continues to lead the way on what's next for back-of-house restaurant operations, looking to empower team members with technology to better satisfy customers, said White Castle COO Jeff Carper in a statement. Then he talks a little bit about Flippy, but I think this is good. Maybe if there's new people, they'll get the background on the Flippy update. Flippy is a robotic arm mounted on a rail and powered by AI software. White Castle will be using the second generation model known as Flippy 2, Flippy 2, to work the fry station. The bot will fill fry baskets, cook the food, and dump it off to be packaged and handed to the customer by human workers. Keep those robots in the back. The system takes some less desirable work off of employees' plates and allows them to focus on other things, particularly helping customers, White Castle said. It also improves food consistency. The rollout will happen region by region over the coming months and years, kind of like how an invasion might happen.
Very slow invasion.
Yes, it's a slow, methodical invasion of these disembodied robot arms.
Oh, I bet like some kind of graphic that shows the distribution and adoption of smartphones would be very fascinating, like a timeline type of thing, you know?
What does the smartphones have to do with Flippy?
Just as a pattern, like
technological adoption.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking more. I just finished last night the series Man in the High Castle.
Yeah.
And they have, lots of shots of like the Nazis planning how they're, going to take over America.
Right.
And so when I was reading this, I just imagined like a map laid out with, models of like, Flippy arms being pushed around with a stick. By a man with a
right. Big old map. Yeah. Okay. I see that.
Yeah. White Castle became the first big restaurant chain to embrace Miso's robot when it began testing in a single restaurant in September 2020. I'm going to skip all this. The latest expansion comes as restaurants are looking to automate more tasks. They are hoping robots can help ease challenges in hiring and retaining human workers, as well as keep costs down amid skyrocketing inflation. Mm-hmm. So the inflation became a part of this. And that's what I want to get into with a little bit of analysis here, which is, first of all, the reporting of this. Let me see here. I got to scroll back up. Here we go. This was from the quote from Jeff Carper. Our partnership with Miso continues to lead the way on what's next for back-of-house restaurant operations, looking to empower team members with technology to better satisfy customers. There is this. First of all, this is the first time that we have recorded, and we do a Flippy update every single show. We follow Flippy very closely because I believe it is the key to the future technocratic, robot panopticon hell state that we'll live in. But this is the very first time that a restaurant has employed robots and been like, yeah, let's do more. Let's do more of this.
In fact, 100 more.
Yes, in fact, yes.
Like not just like a 10, 15, not a small distribution.
And that's 100 additional restaurants.
Yeah.
That's not 100 robots.
Maybe 4 per restaurant.
There's at least one and as many as, 2 to 4 in each restaurant. So this is a huge invasion of these Flippy machines. And again, it's all done in the name of making life easier for human employees, which we've always kind of scoffed at. You know, of course, there's the aspect where, you know, okay, humans, don't worry, we won't fire you for the robot. This is to make your life easier. But in this case, I kind of it's a new world for Flippy because of the new power that workers are sort of being able to wield as far as, you know, demanding better pay, demanding better work situation because of the job, you know, influx and inflation, and coming off of the pandemic where people realize, oh, I don't have to be trapped behind, you know, a fryer my whole life to live. I can figure out other ways to work and enjoy myself. I believe these robots, or there will at least be a shift in the marketing of it being more about like, hey, come work here. Okay, we'll give you $15, but don't please stick around. You don't need to leave. Like, the robot will do most of the work. Gen Z and millennials.
You're saying it's almost tailor-made for a generation that's really kind of, I wouldn't say lazy is a little harsh, but just a little different.
It's an employee benefit.
Yeah. Okay,
the robots are an employee benefit, because if you're in the class or the age or the work experience, you know, category where, you know, you got to get a job and learn how to work and, you know, learn responsibility and do the whole thing, and you don't really have any skills besides.
It's not really a career path yet. You're just
it's not your choice. It's your summer job. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
What restaurant are you going to work at? McDonald's, where you have to fry the fries yourself and cook the things and blah blah blah, and get splashed by hot grease and all this nonsense? Or do you want to work at the restaurant that the robots do most of the work? No, you just got to hand the bag from the robot to the human. Come on down. I think this is a employee retention strategy more than anything.
Yeah, that's possible.
Now, I still think the robots are going to take over and we're all going to be, you know, left in our metaverse pod while sort of nannied by robots. Still possibility. But in the meantime, you know, when restaurants and small businesses and large businesses are having a hard time hiring people and retaining employees, I believe Flippy will be framed as an employee benefit. And the benefit is you don't have to work very hard.
And you get the same pay.
You get the same pay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you'll get the same pay as everybody else, but you just got to do less work. I mean, if I was a, you know, Gen Z 18-year-old just trying to make a buck to save up for college or something, this is what I would do. I would work with the robots.
Well, the convenience factor and the whole Wall-E future that we're sort of creating here, the robot arm is, and especially Flippy, could be a very big part of it. You brought up McDonald's. We have a story later on that we'll touch on again at the end of the show for the metaverse. McDonald's is building a metaverse where you can walk into the metaverse, order food, and then they'll deliver the food to your house.
Yep.
But the next step beyond that is, McDonald's will deliver the food to your house, and then your Flippy will put the burger in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, nothing you do is, you don't even have to walk to the door anymore. You can just have Flippy do it all. So,
what a brave new world.
Yeah, wonderful for the gamers, the generation of gamers that we are breeding, apparently.
Training. All right. Let's keep moving.
Okay. Well, real quickly here, we got something to tell you. And it's to go to CanaryCry.Party. Find the live stream, email list, street team posters, other Canarians, and all the ways to produce the show and join the Canary Cry family.
That's right. And it's even more important than ever, YouTubers, to YouTube viewers at least, to go to CanaryCry.Party. We're actually going to throw the link into the show notes. We're going to throw a lot of links into the chat right now, because here's the thing. I regret to inform you, YouTube, that you will no longer be receiving the entire show live. They have forced our hand. We have no choice. And also, that means you have no choice. So the way that the new format is going to work is, and don't worry, I know this is tough, but it's tough love, YouTubers. You are going to get the first block of the show, the first hour and a half of the show, as well as the B block, which is the first break. And then we are being forced to cut the YouTube stream. And if you want to continue watching the live show for the rest of the 2 hours of the show, where we'll be covering things like, the pandemic news and the trucker news and the metaverse and the Nephilim update and everything else, you will need to follow us and watch in a different location. So we'll be dumping links into the chat for you to follow to catch the rest of the show. But this is the way it has to be. I'm sorry, but this is the world we live in now. So we're going to continue with the show. You still got about an hour or more of the show to go, but be prepared to switch over to another outlet if you'd like to watch the rest of the show. Okay, Gonz, let's talk about politics.
Poly. It's Latin for many. Tick. They'll suck your blood. They'll suck politics. Your blood.
We are in deep fake.
All right, this is Yahoo.com. Deep fake democracy. South Korean candidate goes viral for votes.
Ooh.
Yeah. What other news outlet is bringing you the South Korean political turmoil? It says here, in a crowded campaign office in Seoul, young, trendy staffers are using deep fake technology to try to achieve the near impossible. Make a middle-aged establishment South Korean presidential candidate cool.
The near impossible. Burn, dude. That's funny.
Armed with hours of specially recorded footage of opposition People Power Party candidate Yoon Suk-yeol, the team has created a digital avatar of the frontrunner and set AI Yoon loose on the campaign trail ahead of a March 9th election. From a deep fake video of Barack Obama insulting Donald Trump to failed New York mayoral candidate Andrew Yang campaigning in the metaverse, AI technology has been used in elections before, but AI Yoon's creators believe he is the world's first official deep fake candidate. A concept gaining traction in South Korea, which has the world's fastest average internet speed. We're losing to the South Koreans.
We have always lost to the South Koreans. They have great internet over there.
With neatly combed black hair and a smart suit, the avatar looks near identical to the real South Korean candidate, but uses salty language and meme-ready quips in a bid to engage younger votes who get their news online.
Oh, so it's like they're making him edgier. Like they're not like writing a script for him to make him edgier. They're making a digital
avatar version
to make him say like curse words and stuff.
If we're talking about the image of somebody or of a person, I mean, this is it right here. This is pretty much, and especially for like a political thing, pretty wild.
That is really funny. Okay.
It's been a huge hit. AI Yoon has attracted millions of views since making his debut January 1st. Tens of thousands of people have asked questions, but it's not the usual policy-related fare. Quote, President Moon Jae-in and rival presidential candidate Lee Jae-myung are drowning. Who do you save? One user asks AI Yoon. Quote, I'd wish them both good luck, the avatar snaps back. Meta snark.
Does he say that, or is that just like
I don't know what this is. I don't know if
command
this is
line for his
command line in the article or something. At first glance, AI Yoon could pass for an actual candidate, an apt demonstration of how far artificially generated videos known as deepfakes have come in the last few years. The real Yoon recorded more than 3,000. This is where, Basil, I think we're ready for this right here.
I think this guy is doing the thing we have been talking about.
Yeah. The real Yoon recorded more than 3,000 sentences, 20 hours of audio and video to provide enough data for a local deepfake technology company to create the avatar. 3,000 sentences, that's like half an episode.
That's not enough sentences.
20 hours of audio, that's a week's worth of show. We have so much more than that. That's scary how much more data they have on us. Quote, words that are often spoken by Yoon are better reflected in AI Yoon, said Baik Kyun-hoon, the director of the AI Yoon team. That is, this whole thing is a burn on the actual guy. It's so funny.
Yeah, we're making fun, but the terror is starting to set in on my side. But
here's the thing, though. This could pick up. I mean, we have the perfect president for this to really take its hold in America here.
Yeah,
we
need it.
We need him to.
All of our presidents and the candidates are like 80 years old.
Yeah,
nobody thinks they're cool. Can you imagine Biden? An AI Biden coming out with a backwards hat, like sitting
doing backflips, and
he's like, "What's up, fellow kids? This presidential election's gonna be lit.
Want a president that won't rug you?"
And then he says like a bad word.
Yeah. What the avatar actually says is written by his campaign team, not the candidate himself. Quote: we try to come up.
How is that any different from anything any candidate says?
I don't know.
Besides Trump, I guess.
I thought the comparison was with the team, the AI team, but no, it's just,
right.
Quote,
not his speech writers or his PR people. It's the nerds.
Quote, we try to come up with humorous and satirical answers, Baik told AFP. The approach has paid off. AI Yoon's pronouncements have made headlines in South Korean media, and 7 million people have visited the Wiki Yoon website to question the avatar. Ooh. If we had only produced politically correct statements, we would not have this reaction, Baik said. Yeah. Quote, the political establishment has been too slow in the face of a fast-changing society, he added. When answering questions posed by users, AI Yoon mockingly refers to President Moon and his rival Lee as Moon Ding Dong and Lee Ding Dong.
That is very funny.
Quote, I want to ask Moon Ding Dong this question. Who is our real enemy? AI Yoon says in a thinly veiled swipe at what his critics say is the president's more conciliatory approach towards Pyongyang. North and South Korea remain technically at war, and Moon has met with Pyongyang's leader Kim Jong-un 4 times since taking office. An approach candidate Yoon rejects as too soft. We get into the actual politics, which is less of a thing. The AI future... The technology has more often been flagged as harmful. The 2018 deepfake video of Obama was produced by Oscar-winning filmmaker Jordan Peele to warn viewers about trusting material they encounter online. Okay, there you go. And then more code at the end.
This is very, very, again, like I was saying, Gonz, the terror is starting to set in about this. I mean, this is a turning point where it's... we talk about politicians being fake. They're fake because they'll say whatever they need to say to get elected and then not follow through on anything. Then they're fake because they'll say whatever a PR person tells them to say, or maybe a political advisor. Again, just whatever to get elected. It's all based around being elected. And now it's literally, they don't even have to say it. A programmer will conjure from the abyss an image of them saying whatever algorithmic perfection it takes to gain the support. I mean, this needs to be outlawed. This can't be acceptable,
especially in politics. That should be the first place.
In politics. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if A-Rod does it or something, but I don't know why I just pulled A-Rod like I'm some sort of sports boy.
Sports ball reference from the 90s, early aughts. Good throwback.
But sports. But yeah, a politician doing this, it shows a disregard for
human life.
For human life, but also for the seriousness of politics, and not just the AI. I mean, I'm also including our modern politics where, talking points are based on polling and public opinion and PR people and crafting vocabulary to make it the most palatable. That includes things like Build Back Better, Make America Great Again, all this kind of stuff. But to fully hand it over, I mean, that's unacceptable already, but to fully hand it over to computer programmers, we're living in, that's as close to living in a computer simulation as you can get without full on, tinfoil hat stuff.
I mean, if you're looking at it from the perspective of the campaigns, this makes a lot of sense. That's what's scary about it, is it's like we already have people that write the script. We just have Mr. Failing Health Man, because of old age, standing up there trying to deliver it.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? When you hear a politician talk, you need to hear the politician talk.
Right.
That's how you can listen and hear if they are cogent,
sincere, right?
Or if they are sincere, but more cogent and alive,
right.
And gauge the health. There's much more to listening to a politician speak than just the words they're saying.
Beyond the words, right.
Yeah, but this, I mean, once they have this sort of setup for Biden, which I guarantee they are already working on.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and not just Biden, but just generally.
Can you imagine the prototype meeting? You walk in. Is this Biden appropriate? And so he walks in and yells at him.
Sure. Well,
he's not good enough.
The scary part about it is, there's a lot of talk about the 25th Amendment. And, did you hear how Trump is slurring his words? 25th Amendment, replace him. He's sick. Or same with Biden. Oh, he's, he doesn't see him all there. You're hearing him make his speech, a little lackluster.
Give me a break.
But this is very much creating a world where a president could be incapacitated, and yet his deepfake is out presenting.
Yeah.
And the people would never even know that the president is incapacitated or sleeping or sick or whatever.
And it would provide the quote unquote a sense of credibility if there's interaction happening in other places. For example, the metaverse, a virtual thing where you can have a president who's not there, but the avatar does all the work. And if you're in the metaverse, it feels like you're there. Hey, we went to the rally. Really? Yeah, we saw President Biden AI speak.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so that's all part of it. Very interesting for South Korea to be really just, I guess, hitting the go button on the deep fake politician and just seeing what happens.
For it, man.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here, because if it's a novelty now, if it gets normalized, then everyone's going to do it. It's not going to be as interesting. It'll just have its societal impact, already built in.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the U.S. here, I don't think it'll be as easy to really roll stuff like this out in the U.S. But who knows?
I don't think we'd know about it is the thing.
That's true too, and you're right. That's a big one, especially since some of the footage of Biden early on, we were kind of like, oh, what's going on there with the mouth and all that.
There's already footage of him that is suspect.
He's already on a sound stage doing stuff, making it look like he's at the White House. So,
you know what? Talk about the psyop. It was really weird, not that they were on a soundstage made to look like the White House, but that they let it be known.
Yeah, they were just like, yep, for sure.
They're like, yeah, this is a fake White House that we're doing all these speeches from and stuff. And
because of COVID.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's like 100 reporters in there taking pictures and stuff.
Yeah, which is funny because I remember seeing that and thinking the outside looks very weird. Like it's very bright out there or something.
Oh, because they had the window, right.
Anyway,
but even pictures came out from like a wider view that showed that it was a TV set.
People that were there, yep.
And I think that's that could be allowed, whether it was purposeful or not. That functions as a first step towards the literal theater that is the presidential office. And now it could come to light. Oh, this is a deep fake of Biden. Well, that's weird. Yeah, but we've been doing like TV sets and fake stuff forever. This is just like the next technological step in like the fun fake stuff we do.
Blogs, live stream.
This is not okay.
AI avatars. We're there. We're right on the edge.
All right. Well, anything else on that?
Nope.
Okay. I want to do a rundown because we touched on it the other episode the other day. And I just want to do it again. I'll start off by, saying I was listening to Brett Weinstein on the Dark Horse podcast. And, it's always fun, Gonz. I keep up with a lot of the podcasts that people use for news and stuff because I want to know what everybody's talking about. I want to know what the convo is. I want to know, find different takes and be reminded of things. And so I was listening to Brett, and I will say, like 4 days after we did it. So sorry, beat you to it, Brett. But he was talking about the recent DHS threat terror bulletin that came out and that we covered on the Homeland Security website. The bulletin came out, a summary of terrorism threat to the U.S. homeland. One of the more interesting things about it was this new term, malinformation. They coined this new term where, I'll just read through it real quick. Misinformation is just like incorrect.
Unintended, like errors.
Unintended, wrong information. Disinformation is just lies in order to cause a show or cause a problem.
Right.
Subterfuge of some kind. Malinformation was true facts presented, but out of context. And what is that context? That context is determined by the government. So, what is context? Well, in one sense, it's reality. Like if you state a fact, the context is the reality in which that fact applies. So, you have the government deciding context of true facts, meaning the government wants to define reality around facts. And the whole bulletin was about how people who spread malinformation, which is true facts that may not fit with the government narrative, are considered terror threats. Says right here, the proliferation of false or misleading narratives which sow discord or undermine public trust in the U.S. institutions, specifically malinformation, true facts that sow discord or make people not trust the government. Terrifying, okay, that this is what they're calling terrorism. But okay, moving on. Now, there is a connection here, which is, man, this was long ago. The Obama midnight signing of the NDAA on December 31st, 2011. Now, this was a long time ago, and a lot of people had forgotten about it. We even forgot about it. But in fact, this signing that Obama did, he flew to Hawaii to sign this NDAA, which is something that is signed every single year. It's sort of like a trade agreement that's renewed every single year.
The National Defense Authorization Act.
Right. And he flew to Hawaii to sign it at right before midnight, December 31st, 2011, which is pretty suspicious, Gonz.
Pretty suspicious.
Pretty suspicious.
Pretty
In fact,
suspicious.
So suspicious, in fact, that this was one of the seminal pieces of news that got you and I to start podcasting.
Yep.
We posted our first podcast 3 months later, March in 2012. And I believe we mentioned this in our very first episode of Canary Cry Radio.
Yeah.
Or at least alluded to it.
The internet tracking part of it, yeah.
Yes, the internet tracking part of it. But included in Obama's midnight NDAA, December 31st, 2011, was a little section that defined the rules around terrorists and those who aid terrorists, and the legal ability of the government to detain them without charge, without telling anybody, no trial, no habeas corpus, no nothing. In fact, it was such a big deal that the ACLU, which is now sort of, unfortunately, sort of like a woke military-industrial complex machine,
right,
that has turned its back on its sort of long and illustrious history of defending civil rights, no matter who it is. I mean, they defended the right to free speech to Nazis and neo-Nazis and stuff in the U.S., no matter what. But that was then. This is now. But back in 2011, even the ACLU wrote a piece about President Obama's NDAA, and I'll just read a couple of pieces of it here. Indefinite detention, endless worldwide war, and the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act. Indefinite detention and endless worldwide war are so relevant right now, it's insane. Just in different ways. I mean, you talk about the endless war of the pandemic and how that justifies all sorts of authoritarianism. But this is not about that. This is about something else. On December 31st, 2011, President Obama signed the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, codifying indefinite military detention without charge or trial into law for the first time in American history. The NDAA's dangerous detention provisions would authorize the president and all future presidents to order the military to pick up and indefinitely imprison people captured anywhere in the world far from any battlefield. The breadth of the NDAA's worldwide detention authority violates the Constitution and the international law because it is not limited to people captured in an actual armed conflict, as required by the laws of war. Under the Bush administration, similar claims of worldwide detention authority were used to hold even a U.S. citizen captured on U.S. soil in military custody, and many in Congress assert that the NDAA should be used in the same way. The ACLU does not believe that the NDAA authorizes military detention of American citizens or anyone else in the United States. This is their opinion on it. Mm-hmm. Any president's claim of domestic military detention authority under the NDAA would be unconstitutional and illegal. Nevertheless, there's a substantial public debate around whether NDAA should be read even to repeal the Posse Comitatus Act and authorize indefinite military detention without charge or trial within the United States. And there's more, but that gives you the gist of it. So even the ACLU was like, yo, this is the worst possible situation. It is unconstitutional. It gives this president and every subsequent president the ability to detain anybody, including United States citizens.
Sorry, just to mention, this was a point that a lot of Trump people were really... or some people that were skeptical of Trump would bring up, is that how come Trump didn't reverse this? Yeah, if he was really for the people kind of thing. So it is a good question.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The government is in a perpetual, struggle or mission to gain and centralize more power in a sort of unending cycle.
Right.
And Obama's 2012 NDAA was a big part of it. Now, you combine this where, because of Obama, we are, the government is legally allowed to detain someone, not tell anybody about it, not give them a trial, not charge them with anything if they are, seen to be terrorist or aiding terrorists or terrorism or anything. And then you have this bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security, which says, oh, well, if you're saying misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, again, true facts,
could be considered malinformation.
You are considered, terrorist or aiding terrorism. And so, this is really concerning to us, in particular, Gonzo.
I know,
because it is
right on
from now
scope.
From now until June 7th, when this bulletin is set to expire.
Yeah, why? Weird. Okay.
Right before the midterms is why. From now until June 7th, I don't think it is that crazy. Now, it's a little crazy. Okay, I'll admit it's a little crazy.
Basil admitting to his crazy.
It's a little tinfoil hatty that somebody would actually do this.
Yeah.
But it is legal. It is currently legal for the government to black bag and disappear podcasters with no trial, no reason, no nothing, no telling anybody. Just saying, man. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm not saying they have plans to. But I sure hope they don't.
Yeah.
But according to these two documents, it is currently legal for the government to come in black bag podcasters for saying true facts, malinformation, true facts outside of the government narrative. And so we need to set up some sort of dead man switch where
I know
one of us disappears, the word goes out, and people can start, looking for us, filing some FOIA requests.
Oh, great.
So I just thought that was very interesting. And again, it's not, a lot of it. Another great point that Brett made was, a lot of what we look at and a lot of the details of the moves that the governments are making right now, they may not be actively full-on authoritarian tyranny.
Especially tyranny and how we picture it, right?
There are definite aspects of that and moments, which we love to cover, and we'll cover more in this show. But what they're doing more than anything is constructing it around us as we speak.
Yeah, the infrastructure.
There's something called turnkey tyranny, which is they build the structure, the infrastructure, the legal infrastructure, the technical infrastructure, the resources needed for an absolute tyranny to take place, authoritarian tyranny. And they may not exercise it right now. They may not, black bag us tomorrow, Gonz. But what they're doing is building a turnkey tyranny, which means it exists, it's built, and all it takes is to turn the key. And then, boom, we're there.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was a great term because I believe that term applies to like a lot of what we pay attention to.
Yeah, you're right.
Where it's like the foundation is there, the legality is there. They could do it. Not that they're doing it necessarily, but all it takes is one turn of the key and they could legally do horrible things. So there you go. There's just a little extra breakdown of the DHS's summary of terrorism threat to the U.S. Homeland Bulletin that came out on February 7th and expires hopefully on June 7th. Before the midterms.
You add COVID to the mix, and this thing could be very, very toxic.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I mean,
from
man.
all kinds of angles.
And especially with what's going on with the truckers and the bank accounts and stuff. We'll talk about later on in the show. But yeah, turnkey tyranny. Keep an eye out for it.
Interesting. And part of it could be associated with certain stories and things coming out, settlements, if you will.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
This is coming from the times.co.uk. Prince Andrew's payout to Virginia Giuffre, quote, is worth its weight in gold for Queen. Experts suggest that Duke could pay about 10 million, pounds after pressure from the royal family.
Oh, the Queen is pushing for a payout.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's weird.
Suspicious.
The Duke of York has settled the sex assault case filed against him in the U.S. after pressure from the Prince of Wales and the royal family. Prince Andrew could pay about 10 million pounds to Virginia Giuffre, his accuser, as part of the out-of-court settlement, legal experts suggested. One said that it would be, quote, worth its weight in gold to the Queen as she celebrates her platinum jubilee. The Duke is said to have faced increasing pressure from the royal family to bring the case to an end after it threatened to overshadow the Queen's Jubilee celebration. Yeah. Prince Charles has been a prominent voice on the issue, a source indicated. It's interesting. It's kind of like, just pay her off. Just pay her off. We need to be in the good light.
Yeah, well, doesn't that just fit so well?
It does.
That's crazy.
And it would be funny. Well, not funny. I guess Virginia Giuffre has. She walks home. If she walks home with 10 million pounds, I don't know. Do you stop the campaign? What do you do? Do you accept the money? Do you not?
Well, the fun part is, at least in the court of public opinion, a payoff is
justice,
an acceptance. No, I'm more of like an acceptance of guilt.
True, that too.
You know, so. And really, Virginia and those who pay attention to this were not going to let it go. And he was going to have to stand alone in court without the support of the royal family, finally doing something on his own. Unfortunately, that thing is defending himself from the seemingly true allegations that he's a total pedophile and horrible person.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems like the queen just had enough. It's over with.
It's over with. But at the very the accusations and the issues that will the allegations against Prince Andrew, it's not going to stop with Virginia Giuffre, but it is definitely a big payoff, I guess. At least you'll get the big elephant out of the way, quote unquote, out of the way.
Yeah. Well, I think the admission of guilt in the public opinion is that's a win in some degree.
Yeah.
Not that he'll come to any justice. There's no justice happening here.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. All right. Real quick here. Your favorite friend
Next
journalist.
Got to do a Shillzilla.
Oh, no.
Shill. A shill for sure.
Yay.
What did Shillzilla do?
Yeah, nothing. He didn't do anything. I just didn't have a better jingle for this story. It's a CNN story, so of course, Chris Shillzilla.
He's there at the office
he's
somewhere.
There.
So
I think he's looking. I don't think he is there at the office.
No,
I think he's outside. Home. Yes, he's lifted the mail slot and he's trying to look through the mail slot in the door to feel included in what's going on.
Oh, poor guy.
But Brian Stelter is not letting him in the building.
Okay. This
is an article from Brian Stelter, also somebody not long for the world of CNN.
I don't know, man. He's puppet enough to just shapeshift into whatever they want him to be.
You're not wrong. That is his superpower. That's his literal only talent is just being able to be a yes man and do whatever the boss says. So this comes from CNN. Just quick update here. The headline is top CNN exec resigns as Warner Media chief, accuses her and former network boss Zucker of standards violations. You'll remember in the past weeks here, we reported on Jeff Zucker getting booted. Mm-hmm. And CNN talks about it here. And I just love hearing it in CNN's own words. There's something just so delightful.
We have to report on ourselves.
About them sort of begrudgingly upholding an illusion of journalistic integrity by talking about the crimes of their own executives.
Yeah, this is great.
It goes like this. Nearly 2 weeks after CNN President Jeff Zucker was forced out of his position, his former lieutenant, Alison Gullis, has also resigned from the company.
Wait a minute. This is CNN talking. Is that how they referred to her?
You wouldn't know it from reading this first sentence of the article. But Alison Gullis is not just his lieutenant. It's his lover. It's the reason he was ousted from the company is because they were having a secret affair in the company. But no. Nearly 2 weeks after CNN President Jeff Zucker was forced out of his position, his former lieutenant, Alison Gullis, is also. I'm not sure if they know what that word is.
That is so weird that let's.
I mean, she was his lieutenant. She was like his second in command.
I understand.
But also his second in command, if you know what I mean. In a memo to staffers Tuesday evening, Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar said Gullis resigned after an investigation. Don't you love that? They resigned after an investigation into issues associated with former CNN anchor Chris Cuomo.
It's Cuomo prime time. I do it with everyone.
Oh, yeah. issues associated with former CNN anchor Chris Cuomo and his brother Andrew, the former New York governor. Remember him?
Yeah.
Quote, based on interviews of more than 40 individuals and a review of over 100,000 texts and emails.
That's what he was doing on those breaks.
The investigation found violations of company policies, including CNN's news standards and practices by Jeff Zucker, Allison Gollust, and Chris Cuomo, Kylar said in a memo. Quote, we have the highest... Again, no mention of Allison and Jeff being lovers.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
But it's
I just
funny.
like this next sentence.
Yeah, yes, the next one is good. But yeah, anyway, okay, we'll keep going. Quote, we have the highest standards of journalistic integrity at CNN, he said with a sly smirk as he
we need a laugh track. Where's the laugh track?
Clown nose and spat water out of a flower on his lapel. You clown, Kylar. We have the highest standards of journalistic integrity at CNN, and those rules must apply to everyone equally, Kylar added. Quote, given the information provided to me in the investigation, I strongly believe we have taken the right actions and the right decisions have been made. Remember, Kylar, he's the new guy.
He's a hall monitor.
He's the new owner of CNN. So
yeah, he's coming in.
This is the scythe is swinging. The sands of time are running out on the old CNN as Warner Media comes in and takes over. Led not by Kylar, but one of the other leaders was the guy who helped start Fox News. So they have a very interesting thing going on. Quote, given the information provided to me, I already read that. Gollust released a comment addressing her exit Tuesday night.
Okay.
Well, Warner Media's statement tonight is an attempt to retaliate against me and change the media narrative in the wake of the disastrous handling of the last 2 weeks.
You know what's sad? That's probably all she knows is the media narrative.
That's a good point.
It's almost sad to hear this.
Well, and you're right. It is sad because you know what I was expecting? I laughed out loud when I read this.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was expecting sort of a gracious,
you were grateful, thankful of the time, blah, blah, blah.
So thankful. Yeah. I love CNN, and I'm just so
come on.
proud of the work we did together, and I'm moving on to write my book or whatever.
Right.
Because that's what they always did. That's what Jeff Zucker did. That's what Chris Cuomo did. That's what everybody did. But not Allison. She's like, no, this is retaliation, and I will burn this place to the ground. Quote, it is deeply disappointing that after spending the last 9 years defending and upholding CNN's highest standards of journalistic integrity, I would be treated this way as I leave. But I do so with my head held high. Yes, that is what people who are leaving with their head held high always say.
They say it.
They really want you to make sure that they're the proud ones here, knowing that I gave my heart and soul to working with the finest journalists in the world.
The finest journalists in the world. Wow.
It's so good. So funny. A representative for Zucker did not immediately comment. Cuomo declined to comment. Full decline.
Oh, they even reached out to Cuomo, huh?
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm done. Warner Media is girding for a potential lawsuit by Cuomo, who was fired from his 9 p.m. time slot in December amid multiple controversies. As CNN Business first reported on December 5th, CNN retained third-party law. Yada, yada, yada. It goes into a whole thing here. But yes, it gives the details about how Cuomo and Zucker and Allison colluded to help Andrew Cuomo hide the crimes happening and pandemic deaths, protecting his political donors who owned the, it's a whole thing.
Right.
I mean, they don't say all that in here, but that's the context, if you will. So there you go. We were kind of pontificating whether Allison would be allowed to stick around. But it turned out she was way too involved to be allowed to stay. And, yeah, Warner Media was not going to let it happen.
Yeah.
But, along the lines of our sort of analysis of what to expect in the future, and the mainstream colonization of independent media, I expect Allison and Jeff and Chris, either together or separately, to get involved with independent media and poison the well of independent media with their mainstream CNN, ideology, not just ideologies, but their complete lack of journalistic standards and accepting of the news industry as a tool of the elites more than anything. Yeah. So keep an eye out.
Yep. Well, we did have a great reset story, but we're out of time, buddy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we're doing it and we're sticking with it.
Yeah.
Well, look at us. We're hardcore guys.
That was a good one too.
We'll just be prepared to jump back into it when we have some time.
Okay.
Okay. Time stampers, make note. We might that great reset did not get done.
Didn't make it.
And we might move it later on in the show. So keep an ear out for that. Okay, well, let's take a real quick break, Gonz, and I do want to remind all the YouTubers, Gonz, maybe you should start posting, dropping some chat links to help out the YouTubers find another outlet. Of course, they should be going to CanaryCry.Party to find an outlet of their choice. They could include Odyssey or Rumble or DLive or Facebook or Twitter or any number of places, Twitch, of course, where they can catch the second half of the show. But for now, we're going to take a second and thank some producers. And I said producers, you heard me right, because we're on the value for value model. You may have noticed, dear listener, we have no advertisements, no affiliate codes, not selling any male enhancement supplements or freedom phones or anything like that. No, we are theoretically, in the eyes of the world, unmonetized, which is a hard thing to be unless you're on the value for value model. And the value for value model is a revolution. And I say that in a funny tone of voice, but it absolutely is. It's a revolution and a rebellion against the current economic structures for independent media in this world. It's easier than ever to get advertisers to advertise on your show, such as this, and, help pay the bills and make a living from it. But when an independent media outlet does bend the knee to the advertisers, not only are you subject to the sort of ideological concept of gaining as much trust and attention from your listeners as possible, and then turning around and selling that to a corporation for your own personal gain, not treating your listeners like human beings with hearts and minds and souls and wishes and dreams and fears, but instead thinking of them something more like cattle, a commodity to be wrapped up and shipped off to a middleman for their own personal gain. And we don't do that here. We believe that is a literal spiritual darkness of this world that has corrupted information. It's corrupted information flow. It's corrupted the way that we think about each other, the way we treat each other, all stemming from advertising. And, think of Google, think of Facebook, think of all the evil wrought by those types of companies. 99% of their profits come from being an advertiser or a middleman between corporate interests and the people. So no corporate interests here. No corporate money, no corporate interests, no nothing. We are entirely funded by our producers who participate in the value for value model, who say, yes, I understand it is my responsibility to decide the value of my independent media rather than letting corporations decide the value for me. And it's a great way to keep the show pure, keep the information free of any boundaries that might be put on us by power structures in this world. And that's why we thank those producers, because that's what they are, producers of the show. Put it on your resume, put it on your LinkedIn. It's a real deal. And Gonz, the sort of slump, the February slump continues, except for a wonderful miracle that came in during the show.
Oh.
And we had to skip the executive and associate executive block at the top of the show. But I am happy to report that we have an executive producer that came in during the show.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I see that.
And I will just introduce them now.
Yeah, do it.
This is executive producer Caroline F.
Thank you, Caroline. Wow.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Caroline F. Very, very generous of you. And I looked at the records. You know, Caroline has produced a couple of times and always does so very generously. And so I love this model that Caroline F. has laid out where, you know, you don't have to produce every single episode. You can if you want. We love our returning streak producers. But as long as you are every once in a while putting value back into the show, reflecting the value you get out, the show continues. And Caroline F., we have some more conversation to have, but we'll do that next time. Let's hit Caroline F. with that executive producer.
Where'd you find this?
Indeed. And Caroline F.'s executive producership came in a nice, flat, round number, which is a signal to us to not read the number. Of course, if you're new to the show, if you want to produce, if you come in as a nice, round, flat number, we do not read the number. If you would like us to or don't mind us reading the number, which we love to do, put a little numerical signal in there. Some people, you know, make the number funky in some way. An easy example of that is to add 33 cents onto the end. But thank you very much, executive producer Caroline F. Really helping this new experience, this new format, and making this a great show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Supply drop.
Woo! That's right, CanaryCry.Supply.com. Go check it out. It's a wonderful way to produce the show and get some very special things in return. 4 times a year, once per quarter, our Canary Cry Supply Droppers will receive a big old bundle, a nice package of unique, heartfelt, inside joke, artist designed, producer created pieces of artifacts of Canary Cry News Talk. And the cutoff date for this first quarter is coming up here. And not wanting to be left behind, our new supply drop producer, William F., comes on in.
Thank you, William M. Or is it F?
Oh, it is M. I said the wrong thing. Sorry, William M.
William M. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And William M. comes in with the $33.33 a month, entitling him to receive the free gifts that are associated with the supply drop producership. Remember, we're not selling merch, nothing like that. It's not like a subscription merch box or anything. It's just telling you. It's telling us that you want to produce the show, you want to do it on a regular basis, and in return, we get to bless you by sending you some really fun stuff. Thank you very much, William F. And that's it for the supply drop producers today.
Thank you, William M. You did it again. You called it.
Did it again, didn't I? You know what it is we have a different William F.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so we're just used to it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, William M. Woo!
CanaryCry.Supply.com.
Yep. We got producers to thank. We're going to start off with producer Morv.
Morv is on a streak.
Big streak.
Yeah. 55 episodes in a row. He comes in with 33.20. Yeah. And here it is, Gonz. He starts out his note with, "It's Wednesday, my dudes."
Do we play the new one or the old one?
No, the old one. There will be a riot if we don't play the old one.
Okay, so all right, hold on. I wasn't prepared for the...
You had completely taken the old one off.
No, I have it. It's just I have to find it here. Give me a moment and try that one more time.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Most modeling.
No. Why did you do that? Why would you do that, board? I had it right there. I click on it and it moves. Hold on.
That is
funny. Go back. Come on.
Is that the new board or the old board doing that?
Well, it's the old board right now because
Okay,
it's.
that's what
Well,
I
here,
thought.
let me go back to the new board then.
Whatever you want, man.
All right.
This is great.
Here we go.
Watching our timer.
It is
Okay.
Wednesday, my dudes.
Okay, we go. We made it. Keep that around, Gonz,
I
because
will,
there is
I
a
will.
full-on rebellion
I know,
happening.
it's a
in the
war. It's a
producers.
Wednesday
I love
war. I get it.
I love it. Psalm 33, 20 through 22. Our souls waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. Our heart is glad in him because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we hope in you. Thank you very much, Morv.
Thank you, Morv. Next up, we have Puddin 22.
On streak.
Oops, wrong. Actually, now I'm on the wrong board. Hold on.
Okay. Puddin 22 comes in with 2319, which is a very fun number. 2319. 2319. Oh, Gonz, the good old days. And is on a 2-episode streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
That's right. You remember 2319, Gonz?
No.
It's from Monsters, Inc., a wonderful allegorical tale.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
about
all right.
the power, the life power of children and the
Right.
corporate corruption surrounding them, harvesting
Yes.
their fears.
Okay, this is for Puddin 22.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
Hi, Basil and Gonz. Sorry for the confusion. My cat's name is Puddin. I'm using her name as my alias. Yeah, there was no confusion, Puddin 22. We get that.
We know the cat didn't.
We know
type.
the cat. I don't
We
know,
don't
though.
think
It might
it-
have actually been the cat.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
not convinced. This is exactly what a cat would say if they had gotten the PayPal password to their humans' PayPal and then supported their favorite podcast. I'm on to you, Puddin22. I know a cat message when I see one. Thanks for digging through the muck and mire, MSM, so we don't have to. We'll follow wherever you end up, Puddin22.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Puddin. Good kitty. And yes, I'm assuming we'll follow wherever you end up means that they are ready and willing to leave YouTube for other platforms. Thank you, Puddin.
Thank you, Puddin. Next up, we have Palmer B.
Palmer B is on a streak.
Yeah, she
24.
She's on a streak.
Women rule!
24 episodes in a row. Thank you, Palmer B. Comes in with 2016. Howdy. I'm all about that new Wednesday jingle.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. Time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Happy Wednesday, partners, and a happy anniversary to my husband of 3 years. Gonz, please do me the favor of having Biden whisper sweet nothings to my beloved.
Pay them more. I wrote the bill. Get vaccinated. They all want to share their data.
Wow, so romantic. Those sweet, sweet nothings. That did give me an idea for a jingle. I mean, Biden's whispering sweet nothings.
That's a good one. Yeah, you're right.
It's a good analysis.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Palmer B.
Thank you, Palmer B. Next up, Christian N.
Christian N comes in for 1702, and a note here. Hello, Basil and Gonz. My contribution for this month reflects my birth date in European format.
Ooh.
That's funny. Month first,
Or day
birthday
first, right?
second.
No, day
yes,
first.
Day first, month second. Oh, and it's tomorrow is his birthday. Yeah, let's give him a happy birthday. Take a second. Let me read the note. The age, the last time I had those two digits was 36 years ago.
Whoa.
Maybe you can figure it out. God bless Christian N from Telemark, Norway, one of our Norwegians. Thank you very much, Christian.
And happy birthday.
Telemark. Good skiing up in Telemark.
Mm.
I don't know if we have enough hints, like clues, to figure into.
Well, we got the date, February 17th, and then the last time I had those two digits was 36 years ago.
Yeah, that could be any number.
Yeah, I don't know.
36 years.
That's too much math.
Maybe I'm just not smart enough. Thank you very much, Christian N, for supporting the
I
show.
feel pressure because we have a clock running now.
I know. Well, that's the point. Yeah,
That's
just so
the thing.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
Our new thing is we have a clock running too, so we don't totally
Keep
get
peeking
lost.
at it. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving.
We'll figure it out, Christian N. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Gene G.
Gene G is here with 1129. Thank you very much, Gene G. Thank you for what you do. Love from South Africa.
All
P.S.
right.
Your Odyssey account sorted, or am I just thick? That is a great question. I would have no way of knowing if you're thick or not. Whether you mean that in the boomer sense or in the Gen Z sense, which are two very different meanings of the word. I'm stalling because I'm heading over to the Odyssey right now. Yes, the Odyssey is live streaming. There you go. In fact, I will just take this right now and pop it into the chat for anybody who wants to go over there.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gene G.
Thank you, Gene G. Next up, we have...
all the way from South Africa.
Oh, yeah, South Africa. Full stop.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew F.
Andrew F. Short and sweet. Comes in with the 1111.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have JC.
On a 71 episode streak.
Ooh.
Thank you very much, JC. Comes in with the 1001.
1001. Amen.
It is WMD, Gonz.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Give me that OG Wednesday jingle, please. Hope everyone is having a good day. The producer of Steven Crowder's show is 1/4 black and goes by 1/4 black Garrett.
He goes by Quarter Black Garrett is his nickname.
Okay. He reminds me of the Skeleton Olympics story, so I figured I'd share. Okay. Thank you very much. Is Quarter Black Garrett the first
podcast producer?
Independent podcast producer for a Steven Crowder franchise?
I don't know. The big point with that story with the Olympic thing was that not that
they weren't showing the picture.
They were not showing her picture because
they refused to show the picture because they didn't want to do it. I don't know why.
It's honestly to be because I was reflecting on this after the show. It's the news agencies reporting on it being racist. They're the ones being racist by not showing the first African American girl, but
black
doesn't
enough.
Look black. Yeah,
they are racist by saying she's not black enough by not showing her picture.
Yeah.
Thank you for more accurately describing that.
Yes. Thank you very much, JC. Appreciate it. Good seeing you. Next up, we have Sir Sigra the Beast.
Sir Sigra the Beast is on a 7-episode streak with the 1001.
Oh my gosh, my headphones are crackling.
1001. Amen.
Thank you, Sir Sigra. He says this. You know what? Also, we missed his streak last episode because he came in late as an executive producer. So he's on 7 now, but let's give him the on fire streak for last episode. There you go. Here's a note. This morning, I found out that a stock I own at an average price of 13 share is getting acquired by Blackstone for 25 a share. Long game for the win with this one. Hey. Amen. We love those type of stories, Sir Sigra. Congratulations, buddy.
Congrats. All right. Next up, we have Ellie.
Ellie or L. I'm not quite sure. I think maybe L. Comes in for $10 a month over on Patreon. Thank you very much, Al.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Robert R.
Robert R. is back. Thank you, Robert R. Comes in with 7s plus fees. He says, "Bout ya boys rap here. I sent a pocket full of 7s and fees. I wanted to point out Muammar Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein didn't have any WMDs, but we Canarians have WMD because it's Wednesday, my dudes. You heard?
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Keep up the good work. God bless. You really snuck that in there. You really got us.
I know. I was
really
wait,
got us with that
he's
one.
Not doing it with the WMD. Okay. Oh, he's actually doing it.
Thank you, Robert R.
Thank you, Robert R. Next up, Sir Scott, Knight of Truth.
You know Sir Scott is on a streak.
Oh, yeah.
109 episodes in a row. Getting close to the 111. Comes in with a pocket full of 7s and another. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
You know, the other jingle was made because this one was annoying him, which is great, but it's just not going to die. It's a war.
It's a civil war. It's like, Captain America movie. The Captain America Civil War.
Civil War.
This is Canary Cry Wednesday jingle, Civil War.
Okay, perfect.
I want to slip in Are we good? Did we do that? Yeah, okay. I want to slip in a producer who just got in under the line here, Gonz, if you want to record this for us.
Okay.
This comes from... What is your name?
Vaccinations.
Name. Wait, I want to make sure. I got to read the note because I don't want to get the name wrong. Okay, this is from Joel.
Joel.
Thank you very much, Joel.
Thank you,
Joel
Joel
comes in with 3388. That's fun. And a note here that says, chose this amount for my first time producing. First time. It's time for a demooching, baby. And chose this amount for my first time producing, not because of its nefarious connotations, but because of the great victory our Savior won at that age. Oh, that must be 33 plus fees. Oh, my little timer went off and made a weird noise. Please give a honk out to the truckers. Why don't we give a trucker jingle?
Oh, I had another jingle ready to go on that one.
Whatever you want.
No, it's okay. Here we go.
Gary.
No. See, that's part of the problem with the lag on the Stream Deck is I'll press it and the page won't.
Just keep it moving, baby.
Over. We got us a convoy, over.
Okay, here we go. This one is coming from, oh my gosh. Oh, that was a close one. I thought I was reading the wrong list for a second. I thought I had been doing it the whole show. Okay, that concludes all of our producers that have supported the show in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. But there's a few more who come in under that amount, and I will just blast through them now.
Okay.
Starting off with Sir Casey the Shield Knight on a 119 episode streak, coming in with Fox 4 threes.
Oh, yeah.
Man, thank you so much.
We've got Gail M coming in on an 85 episode streak. Streak sister number 2, Veronica D, on another 85 episode streak.
Women rule!
We've got Child of God coming in on a 54 episode streak. Oh, I put Child of God in there twice. Whoops. We got Jackie U on a 26 episode streak.
Oops.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
Threes and fees. Next, we have Doctor Who Done Dat on a 56 episode streak. Threes and fees. And last but not least, we got Runk Smash on an 11 episode streak, coming in as our crypto producer for the day.
Is this a crypto? Do I look like I know what a crypto is?
Next up, that is it. That concludes our list of financial producers. Thank you all so much for doing so. And I forgot to let people know where they can support the show. These are people who came in to support the show at patreon.com/CCNT or CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
So happy to see the new and returning producers realizing the value of this show. Maybe, a little disappearance from YouTube reminded people what life could be like without the show. Let's thank them for their patronage and check in on some SpeakPipe.
Shut up and take my money. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patronage.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message.
Beep.
Oh, you did it again.
I did it again.
Wow. This is amazing. This is some
I'm
kind
never
of
going to
streak.
not do it is the problem.
Yeah, it's too rhythmically there, but okay.
I'm not seeing our speak pipers on the list here, Gonz.
Oh, I have
so
them.
I'm gonna. I know you have them, but we got to remember.
I got them.
We got to remember to put them on the dock.
Yeah.
So These are individuals who have left us messages, voice messages over at CanaryCry.Newstalk.com. You can do it too, folks. Head on over to CanaryCry.Newstalk.com. Click on the green tab on the right-hand side of the page, and a little recorder will come up. You just press record, and boom. You don't need any special hardware or anything. You just leave us a message, say hi, ask questions, shout out to listeners or producers, or leave your own report to be played here on Canary Cry News Talk. All right, you're in charge, Gonz. I don't even know who we're talking to here.
Well, first, we have a message from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hello.
Oh!
This is Arnold. I'm calling to let you know, on behalf of everyone in the state of California, that you cannot get rid of the Wednesday jingle. Such a thing has never been done since World War II. This is our Bay of Pigs. If you do not believe me, you must ask. I have talked to many people in the state of California, and they all say the same thing. We need to get to the chopper, and we also need a vacation. Have a great day, everyone who likes the Wednesday jingle only. Everyone else, no.
The war continues. Thank you, Arnold, for leaving us a message.
Wow.
Big fan of the show.
Big fan of the old Wednesday jingle, Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold has yet to produce the show, though. So he's still waiting for his demooch. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we also have a Boots on the Ground report here.
This is our CCR special Boots on the Ground report. Now, let's go live.
Reporting to you pre-recorded, I'm your local crypto Chad with Canary Cry News Talk. According to a Canary Cry expert witness, corporate cesspool for misinfo, Spotify is now running ads for a, quote, FDA-approved video game called Endeavor RX. Experts are advising that the homeless man and NFT boomer should watch this game more closely for further propaganda. And coming up next, is the homeless man in VR goggles actually NFT boomer's son? Stay tuned to find out.
That's fun. That's a great report. We would have put that on top of a real report, except for we have already reported on that story.
Yeah,
a couple episodes ago. But excellently done.
Good.
That's
Jack
V reporting. Is he the crypto Chad, or is he reporting for the? Does he work for the crypto Chad?
It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
I forget how that hierarchy really works.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jack V. What a pleasure to hear from you, buddy.
Thank you, Jack V. That's it. That's all I had.
That's all we had? Mm-hmm. Okay. I made a whoopsies, and it's my fault.
Okay.
We had one more producer, and they are one of our big old streakers. So I want to stick them in here.
Sure.
And it is Heather Saras.
Oh, Heather Saras. Mm-hmm. And on a streak.
Yes, of course.
She's on a streak. Women rule!
I'm currently scrambling to our old document here.
Gotta scroll down.
60 episodes in a row.
Oh, is that, let's see, is there anything for that? I don't remember now. No,
not yet. Nope, 60 episodes in a row. Thank you very much, Heather Saras.
Thank you, Heather Saras.
And we have a note here that goes like this. Oh, they come in with the 1001.
Oh, sorry. Gotta go back.
I know. It's okay.
All right, here we go.
1001. Amen.
And don't go anywhere, because the note reads, Happy Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Can we get a Gonzo jingle mix, please? Much love, East Side.
Gonzo jingle mix. Okay, not prepared for this one. We'll just go random here.
You can't handle the truth.
You guys are calling me running propaganda.
Where are the aliens?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Heather Saras. Sorry we missed you on the first round there. And that concludes all things.
We're only 10 minutes behind. It's okay.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Now here's a question.
Hold on. I knew the timing on that was a little optimistic.
Yeah. Okay, question though. Do we end it here with the YouTubers?
Yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, that is the way this works. Okay, so YouTube out there, thank you guys for coming back and catching the show. Again, I popped in the Odyssey link a second ago, but YouTube has made it clear that we are not welcome to do the whole show here on the platform. So we'll be giving you the first half of the show, every show, but then we're going to be getting into the good stuff, the stuff they don't let you partake in on YouTube. So you can go to CanaryCry.Party to find another outlet. Yeah, I mean, just pick one. People, I saw some comments like, there's so many, I don't know. Just pick one. Find one that works, man. Odyssey. If you need to be told which one to go to Odyssey.
Yeah, go to Odyssey.
We'll drop the link into the chat for you. Twitch is also a good option. DLive is a great option. We're also just streaming right on our Twitter and stuff, but you can't chat there. So there you go. If you want the best chat experience right now, I would recommend Twitch or DLive. Those are the two places that you should go if chatting is your thing. And you can find the links to those at CanaryCry.Party. All right, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube. See you later.